My family sat us down and dropped a bomb. One of us was adopted. Me, my brother, or my sister. They wouldn't say who, and then they did something worse. They said we should all take DNA tests, find out the truth, settle it once and for all, like it was a game. Like discovering one of us wasn't blood wouldn't destroy everything. My name is Maya Hartwell. And this is the story of how my parents turned our family into a nightmare with one conversation, and how the truth they forced us to find changed all of us forever. I need to give you context. I'm the middle child. My older brother Ryan is 32. I'm 28. My younger sister Chloe is 24. We've always been close. Growing up, we fought like normal siblings, but we had each other's backs. Ryan was the protector. I was the mediator. Chloe was the baby everyone spoiled. Our parents, David and Linda, were good parents. Not perfect, but good. They provided for us, came to our school events, supported our choices, or so I thought. 2 months ago, we all gathered for Sunday dinner. Normal family tradition. We do it twice a month, everyone brings a dish, we catch up. Halfway through dessert, Dad cleared his throat. We need to talk to you three about something we should have told you a long time ago. The table went quiet. Mom was staring at her plate. She looked nervous, guilty. What's going on? Ryan asked. Dad took a breath. One of you is adopted. We adopted one of you as an infant. The other two are our biological children. I felt the world tilt. What? We've kept this secret for too long. It's been eating at your mother. We think it's time you all knew. Chloe's face went white. Which one? Who's adopted? We're not going to tell you that, Mom said quietly. We love all three of you equally. It doesn't matter who's biological and who's not. It doesn't matter. Ryan's voice was sharp. You just told us one of us isn't your biological child and you think it doesn't matter? We raised all of you. Biology doesn't define family. Then why tell us at all? I demanded. If it doesn't matter, why are we having this conversation? Dad looked uncomfortable. Because we think you have a right to know, and because we think you should find out together. As a family, take DNA tests. Discover the truth in a supportive environment. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. You want us to take DNA tests? To find out which one of us doesn't belong? You all belong, Mom insisted. This isn't about belonging, it's about truth, transparency. This is insane, Chloe said. Her voice was shaking. You drop this bomb and then want us to take tests to figure out which one of you lied to for their entire life? We didn't lie, Dad said. We just didn't tell you. That's the same thing, Ryan stood up. You kept this secret for 30 years, and now you want to turn it into some kind of experiment? Watch us scramble to figure out who the outsider is? That's not what this is, Mom said, but her voice was weak. Then what is it? I asked. Because it feels like you're making us compete, making us question everything, and I don't understand why. Dad sighed. Your Aunt Carol mentioned something at Christmas, about one of you looking different. It got us thinking, maybe the secret was causing more harm than good. Maybe transparency was better. Aunt Carol, Ryan said slowly, you're doing this because of Aunt Carol's comment? You're destroying our sense of identity because our aunt made an observation? We're not destroying anything. We're being honest. You're being cruel, Chloe said. She was crying now. You could have kept this to yourselves. Let us live our lives. But instead you decided we needed to know, and you won't even tell us who. You're making us do it ourselves like some sick game. We all left early that night. Didn't finish dinner, didn't say proper goodbyes, just grabbed our things and left. I drove home in a daze. My phone was already buzzing with texts. Ryan in the group chat, what the hell just happened? Chloe, I can't process this, I feel sick. Me, same, this is insane. Ryan, are we actually going to take the tests? Chloe, I don't want to know. But if we don't, we'll always wonder. We'll look at each other differently. Ryan, exactly, they've already planted the seed, the damage is done. He was right. Even if we never took the tests, the question would always be there, hanging over every interaction, every family gathering. One of us wasn't biologically theirs, and now we'd never not know that. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about my childhood, looking for clues. Did I look different? Act different? Was there something that should have told me? I looked at old photos, school pictures, family vacations, searching for evidence I didn't belong, and I hated myself for it. Hated that our parents had put this doubt in my head. 3 days later, Ryan called an emergency sibling meeting, just the three of us. No parents, we met at his apartment. Chloe looked like she hadn't slept. I probably looked the same. I've been thinking, Ryan said, and I think we need to take the tests. Ryan, no, Chloe protested. Once we know, we can't unknow it, everything changes. Everything already changed, the moment they told us. At least if we know the truth, we can deal with reality instead of living in limbo. I nodded slowly. He's right, not knowing is torture. I've spent 3 days analyzing every childhood memory, looking for signs. I can't live like this. Chloe was crying. But what if it's me? What if I'm the one who's adopted? How do I process that? The same way any of us would, Ryan said gently. It's going to hurt no matter who it is, but at least we'll know. And then what? Chloe demanded. What changes? Do we treat that person differently? Do they feel like they don't belong? No, I said firmly. Nothing changes between us. We're siblings, that's not negotiable. The only thing that changes is we stop wondering. Ryan ordered the DNA test kits that night. They arrived 2 days later. We decided to do it together at his apartment. The instructions were simple. Cheek swabs, seal them in tubes, mail them back. Results in 2 weeks. We sat in Ryan's living room, 3 kits on the coffee table. None of us reached for them. Last chance to back out, Ryan said. No, I said. We're doing this, we need to know. We did the swabs, sealed the tubes. Ryan mailed them the next day, and then we waited. Those 2 weeks were the worst of my life. I couldn't focus at work. Couldn't eat properly, couldn't stop thinking about what the results would say. I started noticing things I'd never paid attention to before. Ryan had Dad's eyes. Chloe had Mom's smile. I had. What? Whose features did I have? I looked at my parents differently too. Studied them. Searched for similarities. Found some. But were they real or was I imagining them? The worst part was family dinners. We still had one during those 2 weeks. It was agony. Sitting around the table, making small talk, pretending everything was normal. But it wasn't normal. Every time I looked at Ryan or Chloe, I wondered, is it them? Is it me? Who's the one who doesn't belong? Our parents acted like nothing had happened, like they hadn't detonated a bomb in the middle of our family. At one point, Dad asked how we were all doing if we'd thought about the tests. We took them, Ryan said flatly. Results come next week. Mom's face fell. You actually did it. All 3 of you? What did you expect? I asked. You told us one of us was adopted and suggested we find out, so we're finding out. I thought you might decide it didn't matter, that you'd choose not to know. How could it not matter? Chloe's voice was sharp. You made it matter when you told us. You don't get to act surprised that we want answers. We left early again. I was starting to think family dinners might be over permanently. The results came on a Tuesday. Ryan texted the group chat. Results are in. Come to my place tonight. 7 p.m. We'll open them together. I felt sick all day, called in sick to work. Couldn't function knowing that by tonight everything would be different. I arrived at Ryan's at 6:45. Chloe was already there. She looked terrified. I don't know if I can do this, she said when I walked in. We have to, we've come this far. Ryan came out of his bedroom holding 3 envelopes, official looking. Sealed. Okay, he said. These are our individual results. They compare our DNA to each other. One of these will show we're not siblings to the other 2. How do we do this? Chloe asked. We opened them together on 3, then we read them out loud, no hiding, we faced this together. We sat on the couch. Ryan handed us each our envelope. My hands were shaking so badly I almost dropped mine. Ready? Ryan asked. We nodded. 1, 2, 3. We tore them open. I pulled out the paper. It's dense with genetic information, charts, percentages. I scanned down to the summary section, and my heart stopped. I'll go first, Ryan said. His voice was steady. DNA match with Maya Hartwell, 47% shared DNA. Sibling match confirmed. DNA match with Chloe Hartwell, 48% shared DNA. Sibling match confirmed. He looked up. I'm biological to both of you. Relief flooded his face, then guilt because he realized what that meant. Chloe went next. Her voice was shaking. DNA match with Ryan Hartwell, 48% shared DNA. Sibling match confirmed. DNA match with Maya Hartwell, 47% shared DNA. Sibling match confirmed. She started crying. I'm biological to both of you too. They both looked at me. I didn't need to read my results out loud. We all knew what they'd say, but I did anyway, because they deserved to hear it. DNA match with Ryan Hartwell, 0% shared DNA. No biological relation. DNA match with Chloe Hartwell, 0% shared DNA, no biological relation. My voice cracked on the last words. I'm the one who's adopted. The room went silent. I stared at the paper, at the cold, clinical confirmation that I wasn't their sister, not biologically, not really. Chloe threw her arms around me. You're still my sister, this doesn't change anything. But it did. It changed everything. Ryan hugged me too. Maya, listen to me. You're our sister, this is just biology, it doesn't matter. But it mattered to me, because suddenly my whole life made sense in the worst possible way. Why I was always the mediator, the peacemaker, the one trying to keep everyone happy. Because subconsciously I knew I had to earn my place, had to make sure I belonged, why I never quite felt like I fit, why I always felt slightly outside the family dynamic, why I worked so hard to be included, because I wasn't really part of them. I never had been. I need to go, I said, pulling away from them. Maya, don't, Chloe pleaded. Stay, let's talk about this. There's nothing to talk about. You two are siblings, real siblings. I'm just the kid they adopted and never told. That's not true, Ryan said. We grew up together, we're family. This doesn't erase 28 years. Doesn't it? Because right now I'm looking at you too and realizing you have something I never will. You share DNA, you share parents. You share a biological history. I'm just borrowed. Stop, Chloe was crying harder now. Please don't do this, don't pull away from us. But I couldn't stay. Couldn't sit there and pretend this was okay. That finding out I was adopted, that I'd been lied to my entire life, was something I could just process with a hug and some reassurances. I grabbed my purse and left. Ignored Ryan calling after me. Ignored Chloe's texts that started coming through before I even reached my car. I drove home and sat in my apartment, alone, staring at the DNA results, and I felt more alone than I ever had in my life. I didn't speak to anyone for 3 days, ignored calls from Ryan and Chloe, ignored the texts from my parents asking if we'd gotten the results. On the 4th day, someone knocked on my door. I almost didn't answer. But the knocking didn't stop. It was Ryan and Chloe. We're not leaving until you talk to us, Ryan said. I let them in because I was too tired to fight. You can't shut us out, Chloe said immediately. We're worried about you. I'm fine. You're not fine. You found out you're adopted and you've been alone for 3 days. That's not fine. What do you want me to say? That I'm okay? That this doesn't change anything? Because it does, Chloe. It changes everything. It only changes things if you let it, Ryan said. We're still your siblings. We still love you. Nothing about our relationship has to change. But it already has, because now I know, every time I look at you two, I'll know you're connected in a way I'm not. You share something I can never have. We share 28 years of memories, Chloe said. That's more real than DNA. Is it? Because right now it feels like I was living a lie. Like I was playing house in a family that wasn't mine. Ryan sat down next to me. Did it feel like a lie when I taught you to ride a bike? When we stayed up all night when you had your first heartbreak? When we fought over the TV remote and made up an hour later? Did all of that feel like a lie? No, I admitted. But now I'm questioning all of it. Were you nice to me because you loved me or because you knew I was adopted and felt sorry for me? We didn't know, Chloe said. None of us knew. Every memory we have is real. Every fight, every laugh, every moment, it was all real. Then why do I feel like it wasn't? Because Mom and Dad messed this up, Ryan said. His voice was hard. They handled this in the worst possible way. They told us one of us was adopted but wouldn't say who. They made us take tests to find out. They turned this into a trauma when it didn't have to be. He was right. If they'd told me privately, gently, with time to process, maybe this would be different. Maybe I wouldn't feel so betrayed, but they'd made it a spectacle, a mystery, a competition to find out who didn't belong, and I was the one who lost. Have you talked to them? I asked. No, Ryan said. We wanted to talk to you first, but we need to confront them. They need to know what they did to you, to all of us. I don't know if I can face them. Then we'll do it for you, Chloe said. But Maya, at some point you need answers. You need to know your story, where you came from, why they adopted you, all of it. She was right. I deserved to know, but I wasn't ready yet. Ryan and Chloe organized a family meeting, just us and our parents. They insisted I come. We met at a neutral location, a coffee shop, public enough that I wouldn't break down, public enough that my parents couldn't dodge questions. Mom and Dad looked nervous when we walked in. They knew the results were in. Which one? Mom asked immediately. Who's adopted? Maya, Ryan said flatly. Maya's adopted, and you destroyed her because of how you handled this. Dad's face fell. Maya, sweetheart, I'm so sorry. We never wanted you to feel. Don't, I cut him off. Don't apologize for how I feel. Apologize for what you did. You told 3 adult children that one of them was adopted but refused to say who. You made us take DNA tests to find out. You turned my identity into a game show. So don't tell me you're sorry I feel bad. Tell me you're sorry for what you did. Mom was crying. We thought it was the right way. We thought doing it together would make it easier. Easier than what? Telling me privately. Sitting me down and explaining that I was adopted but loved, giving me time to process before involving Ryan and Chloe. Literally anything would have been better than what you did. We wanted to be fair to all 3 of you, Dad said. Fair would have been not lying to me for 28 years, I said. Fair would have been honesty from the beginning. Fair would have been treating me like a person instead of a secret you were ashamed of. We weren't ashamed, Mom insisted. We love you. We've always loved you. Then why didn't you tell me? Why did it take Aunt Carol making a comment for you to suddenly decide I deserved the truth? Silence. They didn't have a good answer. I want to know everything, I said. Who are my biological parents? Why was I adopted? How old was I? All of it. Dad sighed. You were 3 days old when we adopted you. Your biological mother was 17. She couldn't keep you. She chose us through an agency. It was a closed adoption. We don't know her name or anything about her. So I can't find her, can't know where I came from. We can try to open the adoption records. It's possible she's registered. Some biological parents sign up to be contacted when the child turns 18. We never checked because we never told you. Of course you didn't. Mom reached for my hand. I pulled away. Maya, please, you're our daughter. Biology doesn't change that. It changes it for me because I spent 28 years thinking I knew who I was, and now I don't. Now I'm looking back at everything wondering what else you lied about. We never lied, we just didn't tell you. That's the same thing, Mom. You lied by omission every single day of my life. Chloe spoke up. You need to understand what you did. Maya spent the last week questioning every memory, every moment, wondering if she really belonged, and that's on you. You caused that. We were trying to protect her, Dad said. From what? Ryan demanded. From the truth, from her own identity. You didn't protect her, you hurt her, and now you need to fix it. How? Mom asked desperately. How do we fix this? I stood up. You can't untell me. You can't give me back the years I spent not knowing. You can't make this better with apologies. The only thing you can do is leave me alone while I figure out who I am. I walked out, didn't look back. Ryan and Chloe followed. We're with you, Ryan said. Whatever you need, we're here. I need space. From them. From all of this, I need time to process. Okay, but Maya, we're still your siblings. That hasn't changed. I know, and I love you both, but right now I need to be alone. They hugged me and let me go. I spent the next month researching adoption, learning about closed adoptions, trying to understand my biological mother's choice. I reached out to the adoption agency, filed paperwork to open the records. They said it could take months, maybe longer. And there was no guarantee my biological mother had registered to be contacted. I joined support groups for adult adoptees. Heard stories from people who'd lived their whole lives knowing they were adopted. Their experiences were so different from mine. They'd always known, had time to process, had honest parents who celebrated their adoption story instead of hiding it. I didn't have that. I had parents who'd kept it secret for almost 3 decades. Who'd only told me because an aunt made a comment. The anger didn't fade. If anything, it grew stronger. Because the more I learned, the more I realized how wrong they'd been. Adoption isn't something to be ashamed of. It's not a secret to keep. It's part of someone's story, part of their identity. And my parents had stolen that from me. 3 months after finding out, I got a call from the adoption agency. My biological mother had registered. She'd consented to contact. Her name was Jennifer Moss. She lived 2 hours away. The agency gave me her phone number and email. I stared at the information for a week before doing anything. Then I sent an email. Simple, direct. My name is Maya. I was adopted 28 years ago through your agency. I recently learned I was adopted and found out you'd registered for contact. I'd like to talk if you're willing. She responded within hours. Maya, I've been waiting for this email for 10 years. Yes, I'd love to talk. When can we meet? We met at a coffee shop, neutral territory. I was so nervous I almost canceled 3 times, but I went. And when I saw her, I froze because she looked like me. Same eyes, same nose, same smile, features I'd always wondered about. Now I knew where they came from. She stood when she saw me, started crying immediately. Oh my God, you're so beautiful. We sat down, awkward at first. But then we started talking, and I learned my story. Jennifer had gotten pregnant at 17. The father was her boyfriend who disappeared when he found out. Her parents gave her 2 choices, adoption or being disowned. She chose adoption because she wanted me to have a better life than she could give at 17. She'd never stopped thinking about me, never stopped wondering if I was okay, if I was happy, if I hated her for giving me up. I don't hate you, I told her. You made an impossible choice at 17. You did what you thought was right. Do you hate your adoptive parents? I thought about that. I don't know, I'm angry, really angry, but I don't know if it's hate. We talked for 3 hours. She told me about her life, about my biological father who she'd tracked down years ago but who wanted nothing to do with the past, about her family who'd eventually forgiven her but still didn't talk about me, and she asked about my life. My childhood, my siblings, my career. I told her everything, including how I found out, the DNA tests, the family explosion. That's horrible, she said. They should have told you when you were young, given you time to understand. That's what everyone says, everyone except my parents. We exchanged numbers, agreed to stay in touch. She didn't want to replace my parents, just wanted to know me, be part of my life if I'd let her. I said yes. because she gave me something my adoptive parents never had: honesty. I'm 29 now. A year has passed since I found out I have a relationship with Jennifer. We text regularly, meet for coffee once a month. She's not my mom, but she's someone important. Someone who gave me life and then made a sacrifice she's lived with for 3 decades. My relationship with David and Linda is complicated. We talk occasionally, mostly surface-level stuff. They've apologized repeatedly, offered to do anything to fix things. But some things can't be fixed. Some betrayals are too deep. Ryan and Chloe are still my siblings. That hasn't changed. We're as close as we ever were, maybe closer because we survived this together, but I'll never forget what my parents did. How they handled the one conversation that mattered most. They had a choice. They could have told me privately, gently, with love and support. Instead, they made it a spectacle, a mystery, a wound that will never fully heal. My family told me one of us was adopted. Then they pressured us to find out who, and in doing so, they broke something that can never be fully repaired. I'm adopted. I know that now. I'm learning to accept it, to build an identity that includes both families. But I'll never forgive my parents for making me find out the way I did. Tell me in the comments where you're watching from. Have you ever discovered a family secret that changed everything? Because if you have, you're not alone, and your anger is valid. My parents thought they were being transparent. Instead, they were cruel. And I'm still living with the consequences. This is my story, my truth. My identity that I'm rebuilding piece by piece. Claude is AI and can make mistakes. Please double-check responses.